So, good morning, good afternoon again. And today, 11th class accountancy. Today, we will be doing a recapitalization class of chapter 2, basic accounting terms. So, my dear students, in this chapter, we have done many terms. So, I will be uh, explaining in short all the terms so that you people can recall all the terms. First terms, business transaction. It means any financial transaction which involves exchange of goods and services for a monetary consideration. Three features, main features, at least two parties expressed in terms of money and involves exchange of goods or services. Then we did account. Account is a place where all the similar nature items are grouped together under a particular head, like bank account, salary account, cash account. Many examples I had given you. Then capital is the amount which is invested by the proprietor in the business to start up the business. So drawing is the amount or goods withdrawn from business for personal use. So liability is the amount which the business owes to outsiders. In short, I'm telling you again, then you will be telling me. I'll be asking by unmuting any of you people. So just listen carefully. So liability is of two types, internal and external. Whenever we are talking about internal liability means liability of business towards businessman. The example of internal liability is only one, that is capital. External liability means the liability which we need to pay to outsiders, and the example of external liability are two: current liability, non-current liability. Current liabilities are those liabilities which we need to pay within a period of 12 months. For example, creditors, bills payable, all these terms we have done now. Short-term loans and advances, outstanding expenses, income received in advance, any income which you have received in advance. Then non-current liabilities, all the liabilities which we need to pay after a period of 12 months. So there I told you that in current and non-current liability, only one difference is there. What is that difference? The difference is that the time period. If you are going to pay a liability within a period of 12 months. Yes. Yes, Siddhi, external liability means business needs to pay outsider or business man needs to pay outsider. Yes, business needs to pay outsider. Here, businessman is a separate person and business is having its own identity. All the transactions which we are doing in business from the point of view of business, not the businessman. Okay. So next, the assets and the example of non-current liability. So any liability can be non-current if it is paid after a period of 12 months. Next, assets. Assets are the things of value or the resources of the business which a business owes and which are having any monetary value, and they are the owned by the business. It means businessman is the owner or the business is the owner of the assets, and they may be tangible or intangible. Then assets are further divided in two parts, current assets and non-current assets. Current assets are those assets which are likely to be converted into cash within a period of 1 year. Okay, examples I had given you: cash in hand, the some cash the business maintains with itself to pay the regular expenses, day-to-day expenses, that is known as cash in hand. And the excess amount of cash they kept in bank, so that is known as bank balance. Debtors, BR, bills receivable, stock, short-term investments, prepaid expenses. All these are the expenses, are the current assets. Non-current assets are those assets which we have purchased for a longer period, not for resale. We have purchased them to use in the business or to get benefits over a period of time. So non-current assets, two examples are there: fixed assets and non-current investment. Fixed assets are those assets which are purchased in the business with a view to produce goods or to provide services. It means they are not meant for sale. They are meant for their use in the long term. Examples of fixed assets: land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, computers, or motor vehicles. All these are the fixed assets. Further, fixed assets are of two types: tangible and intangible. Tangible are those which can be touched, seen, which have any physical existence. All the above examples are the tangible: land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, computer, printer, fax machine, vehicles. All these are the tangible assets. Intangible assets which do not have any physical existence and which cannot be touched or seen, which can be only experienced. And because of those assets, earning revenue generating capacity of business increases. For example, I told you many things like license. You have taken any license, very good, Harshita, computer software, copyright, goodwill. So all these are the any idea that any, suppose you are a cook and you are having your recipes, so you can get the copyright over your recipes so that the other persons are not using your recipes. So that will be your intangible assets. You are a software engineer, so any software you have developed, so that will be your intangible assets. Or you have purchased any software, then it will be your intangible assets. Then further, receipts. Yesterday we did this topic. Any amount which is received or receivable, any amount which is received or receivable is known as receipt. Either received or we will be receiving in future, that will be known as a receipt. They are of two types: capital receipt or revenue receipt. Capital receipts are the amount which is received or receivable by selling of the assets. For example, fixed assets like land, building, plant, machinery, or by issuing of the share. But yesterday also I told you that here we are talking about the sole proprietor only in 11th class. So we will be not talking about the share capital and debentures, that are the topics of 12th class only. So for a sole proprietor, capital receipt means sale of any asset or any investment. Suppose he has purchased some shares of a company, and further in a stock market he went and sold those shares. So that share will be also known as his capital receipt. Any of the asset, whether it is non-current asset or it is non-current investment, when they are sold, then whatever the amount the business is getting, that is known as capital receipt. So revenue receipts are those receipts which the businessman is getting by selling of shares or by providing of services, or commission, rent, interest. All these are also known as revenue receipt. And one major difference I told you yesterday in capital receipt and revenue receipt is this, that capital receipts are of non-recurring nature. Means you will be not getting the capital receipts on regular basis, but revenue receipts you will be getting on regular basis, after on regular basis, or after a certain time period interval. Like you have made a FD in bank, so you will be getting, or you have maintained a saving account or any other account in bank, so you will be getting regular returns from bank. On monthly basis interest will be provided. Similarly, you have purchased a property and you have given it on rent, so rent you will be getting on regular basis, monthly basis. Then the expenditure, money spent or liability incurred for acquiring goods or services or asset. Three words I given you, that goods, service, or asset. Now these, on the basis of these three words, expenditure will be bifurcated in three parts: capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, and deferred revenue expenditure. So the amount which we have spent or liability incurred for purchase of fixed assets is known as capital expenditure. So whenever we are purchasing any fixed asset, then that particular asset is will be known as fixed asset, and amount spent on purchasing of that asset will be known as capital expenditure. For example, you have purchased a land of rupees 5 lakh, costing rupees 5 lakh. So payment of that 5 lakh will be known as capital expenditure, and in return land will become your asset. Okay, so revenue expenditure, any expenditure which is incurred, amount spent or liability incurred for making the sales or to buy the goods. Means any expenditure which is related to purchase or sale of goods, or related to make the goods sellable, or we can say the day-to-day expenses of the business, are known as revenue expenditure. So again, the main basic difference in between capital expenditure and revenue expenditure is this, that revenue expenditure we are doing on regular basis, day to day or regular basis, and capital expenditure we are doing once upon a while. Okay, like after 10 years, after 5 years, not on regular basis. Like land you will be not purchasing on regular basis, machines you will be not purchasing on regular basis. Once you have purchased the machine, then it will be giving you benefit for a longer period. But salary, interest, all these expenses, electricity bill, telephone bill, all these are the revenue expenditure, and they will be paid on regular basis. Then revenue, deferred revenue expenditure. So any revenue expenditure, basically that is a revenue expenditure, but one feature of that revenue expenditure is not here. Revenue expenditure we are paying in one accounting year. Okay. And they are giving us benefit in the same accounting year. But deferred revenue expenditure is that expenditure which we are paying in one particular year, but that will be giving us benefits for a longer period of time. Yesterday, I had given you one example, that is the huge amount spent on advertisement is the example of deferred revenue expenditure. I have given you example. Suppose your company have hired Mr. Amitabh Bachchan for promoting your product as a brand ambassador. So you have make him payment of rupees 2 crore or 5 crore, and that he will be providing his services to your company up to a longer period, that may be 5 year, that may be 3 year, that may be 2 year, but more than 1 year. Then the amount spent on, huge amount spent on that particular head will be known as deferred revenue expenditure. So it is an expenditure which we have paid in 1 year, but it will be giving us benefit for a longer period. Then why we cannot say it capital expenditure? This question must be coming in the minds of some student, as capital expenditure means we are purchasing tangible assets or intangible assets. This is not an asset, neither tangible nor intangible. We will be just getting the benefits of this expenditure. That's why we cannot categorize it under capital expenditure. So a separate head is prepared for this. That head is known as deferred revenue expenditure. And the cost of the total cost of this expenditure will be, total cost of this expenditure will be spread over 5 years, or the benefit within which we will be getting the expense. So expense basically means the revenue expenditure. Expense is the cost incurred in producing goods and services. So we can say it is the other term which is also related to the revenue expenditure. There we were doing the classification of expenditure. So there we have written the revenue expenditure and the capital expenditure. But expense is equal to revenue expenditure. But when revenue expenditure will be coming, you will be defining in that way. When expense will be coming, you will be defining in this way. So expense is the total cost incurred in producing goods and services for selling purposes. So expenses include cost of goods, whatever the cost. Suppose the raw material we have purchased, then the station, then the electricity bill we have paid, salary we have paid, rent we have paid. So all these expenses together will be known as expense. So next is the income. Income means any amount which is the excess of revenue over expense. In short, we can say excess of revenue over expense is known as income. Like I gave you many examples, like the two we have sold the goods costing rupees 50,000 for rupees 80,000. So cost of the goods is 50, cost will be equal to the expense, and the revenue is the amount which we have received by selling of goods, received or receivable. It is not necessary that we have received, there may be debtors. So revenue is the amount which we have received or receivable by selling of goods or by providing of services. So income is equal to revenue minus expense. So 30,000 will be income here. Then gain. So whenever we are selling assets more than the price at which we have purchased the asset, then whatever the extra amount will be there, that will be known as gain. So gain word is used only for capital receipts. Whenever we are selling asset and by selling those assets we are having some profit, then profit is known as gain. Income is different and gain is different. We can say income is related to buying and selling of goods, and gain is related to selling of assets only. So loss is the opposite of income. Excess of expenses over revenue. When we are using the formula revenue minus expense and we are getting the negative answer, then it is known as a loss. Then purchases. Purchase word is exclusively used only for goods, not for assets. Whenever a businessman is purchasing goods, why businessman is purchasing goods? To sell them further. Then those purchases will be known as purchases. Buying of goods is known as purchases. In short, we can say whenever a businessman is buying goods, then it is known as purchases. Then what is the goods? Goods means the things in which the businessman is dealing. Suppose a businessman has purchased a sofa and the businessman is dealing in garments, ready-made garments. So sofa will be considered his what? Sofa will be considered what? For a businessman, yes, asset. Very good. Sofa will be considered asset. Siddhi and Harshita and Darshika, everyone has given me correct answer. Yes, students, please don't give the answers to everyone. Okay, then sales, purchase return. When the goods being defective are returned by the buyer to the seller, then it is known as purchase return. Then I told you the formula for total purchases, cash purchases plus credit purchases minus purchase returns. Total purchases minus purchase returns will be equal to net purchases. Then sales, when the both goods are sold to the customers, then it is known as sale. So sale again here means only the sale of goods, not the sale of assets. Sales return, when our customers are returning goods to the seller, then it is known as sales return. Then I told you total sales, cash sales plus credit sales, and net sales is equal to total sales minus sales return. Then stock, stock means goods laying unsold at the end of the year is known as stock. It is of two type, opening stock, closing stock. Opening stock means the goods laying unsold at the beginning of the year. And closing stock means goods laying unsold with the business at the end of the accounting year. Okay. And what is the beginning of the accounting year and what is the end of the accounting year? It will depend on the year which you have taken. So here accounting year may be of two type. I told you here calendar year and financial year. Yes, very good, Harshita. Calendar year and financial year. Calendar year means starting from 1st January ending on 31st December. And financial year means starting from 1st April and ending on 31st March. Now the trade receivables, the receivables which we have to receive on the basis of trade, debtors and BR. The person to whom the businessman has sold goods on credit are known are debtors. And BR, when debtor accept the document written by the seller, when the debtors are accepting, or we can say in easy language that debtors is a oral agreement, and whenever we are talking about BR, bills receivable, that is a written agreement in which the seller is making a note in a specified format, which we will be learning in this class, but in the next chapters the format of the bills receivable, a complete chapter is there for this concept. So here I am not telling you in detail. So a format is filled by the seller, and on which the amount which the debtor has to pay and the time period on which he has to make the payment is mentioned, and he will be making sign, and the debtor will be accepting the terms and condition by putting the sign on that specified document. So that will be known as bill. For one party, that will be the BR, bills receivable, and for the other party, that will be the bills payable. For seller, it will be the bills receivable because he has to take the money, and for buyer, it will be acting as a bills payable because he has to pay the money. In complete one class, I have explained this concept very clearly, that trade receivables and trade payables are the vice versa concepts. They both occurs just because of a single transaction. For one party, that is the trade payable, and for other party, that is the trade receivable. For seller, it is trade receivable. For buyers, it is trade payables. Next, creditors are the person from whom we have purchased the goods. Bills payable, I have already explained. Goods are the things in which a businessman deal. Then voucher, we have not done here. We will be doing this concept in the chapter. Then discount, any type of reduction in the price is known as discount. It is of two type, trade discount and cash discount. Trade discount, when we buy goods in bulk. So sometimes it is also known as a quantity discount, as it is always provided on purchasing of a large quantity, and it is the reduction in the price of list price. List price means which is listed in the quotation or the catalog price. So that discount is known as trade discount. Mostly it is offered when the buyer is buying goods in bulk. Then cash discount. Cash discount is offered to debtors. Why? To induce them to convince them to make payment fast, so that we are getting our payment on time or before time, just because of a lalach. I told you that cash discount is a lalach to the debtors, just like a bribe to the debtors. If they are making payment before time or early payment, then they must be getting some discount. And the benefit of this discount to the seller is that there will be no risk of being the amount bad debts. So they will be getting payment very fast, and the debtors, benefit to the debtor is that they will be they have to pay some less amount than the actual amount, because they are getting discount. So all those who are having cash available, they can get this discount, and all those who are not having cash to pay, so they may not be getting this discount. Trade discount will be given to all, but cash discount will be given only to those persons who are making payment in cash at the time of transaction or within a specified period. Some time period may be given within 7 days or 4 days, and if within that period they are making payment, then discount will be given to them. Cash discount is of two type: discount allowed and discount received. When we are giving discount to our customers, then it is known as discount allowed, because we are allowing discount to our customers. When our seller is giving us discount, then for us that is discount received. Suppose wholesaler is giving us discount, we are retailer, then for us that will be the discount received, and for the wholesaler that will be discount allowed, because he is granting us discount and we are taking that discount. So for us, again, the transaction is one, parties are two, and the one transaction has different aspect for both the parties. For the seller it is discount allowed, and for the buyer it is discount received, because he is receiving that discount. Next, the proprietor. Proprietor is the person who has started the business by investing capital. Yes, books of account, I told you, a businessman has started the business not for charity, for earning profit. So at the end he must want to know the profits. Yes, for consumer. Yes, Vaishali, for consumer, it will be a discount received. If you are purchasing anything from sale and you are getting discount. So for a consumer, it will be discount received, and for the seller, it will be discount allowed. Okay. So he has to maintain different accounts, different books, where he will be recording all of his business transactions. So at the end, he can find out the profit or loss of the business. So those books of accounts we will be learning how to make in the next chapters. All these books, whichever is written here, we will be learning later on. So journal and ledger are the main book. Entity, I told you, any business unit is known as entity. Okay. Economic unit or any business unit, debit and credit. So it is the format of account, and I have given you the definition. The left hand side of an account is known as debit side, and the right hand side of an account is known as credit side. Then livestock, the animals. Livestock basically here means the animals which are used by the businessman in transportation of goods or for any other purpose, like carts, horses, camels. All these are known as livestock of the business. Next, invoice or bill. Bill, whatever the bill we are getting from the seller is known as bill. Then bad debts. Allowance is again similar to the discount, so we have not done this. Bad debts, when the debtors refuse to make payment. When the debtors refuse to make payment, or they are unable to pay the amount, or the bad debt is the amount that has become irrecoverable, then it is known as bad debts. Then depreciation, fall in the asset or the fall in the value of fixed asset is known as depreciation. Then solvent, any person who is able to pay off his liabilities is known as solvent. And the person who is not able to pay off his liabilities on time is known as insolvent. So chapter is completed. Now I am going to discuss some questions, and I'll be unmuting you people for fill-ups and MCQs, and the one student will be reading the question and other will be giving me answer in chat. Okay, students. So I am unmuting Abhay Bansal. Yes, Ambika, I have unmuted you. Read the first 5 fill-ups fast.
The amount invested
Yes,
by the
Ambika,
owner of
start reading.
the amount
Is there any problem,
invest.
Ambika? You are not audible. Just on your mic.
My mic is on only.
Still not audible. Okay, Chirag, I have unmuted you.
Ma'am, yes.
Yes, Chirag.
Ma'am, I have to read the question or give the answer?
Chirag, I have unmuted you. Just start reading the
Ma'am,
question.
Okay, ma'am. The amount invested by the owner of the business is called.
Yes. First, start again, beta. First question. Chirag, first question.
Ma'am, yes. The amount invested by the owner of the business is called.
Dash. Yes, students, you can give me answer in writing fast. Yes, Chirag, tell the answer. The
Ma'am,
amount
capital.
invested. Yes. Yes, Chirag, give me answer. The amount invested by the owner of the business is called what?
Ma'am, capital.
Yes, very good. Read fast. Next, read fast.
A person to whom good is sold on credit is called a.
Yes. Give me answer. Chirag, you can also give answer, beta. A person to whom goods are sold on credit is called a debtor. Very good. Yes, Lochan. I have unmuted you. Lochan, I have unmuted you. Ambika. Ambika, I have unmuted you. Start reading. Ambika. Yes, Ambika. Ambika, I have unmuted you.
A person from whom goods is brought on credit is called creditor.
Yes, fourth. Read
The
till 7
amount
fast.
the amount withdrawn by the owner of the business for the personal use is called drawings.
Yes.
Liabilities payable within a period of 1 year are called current liabilities.
Yes, very good.
Goods withdrawn by proprietor of the business for personal use is called drawings.
Yes.
Assets
Next.
which have no physical appearance are known as non-tangible assets.
Yes, Kanishka, I have unmuted you. Start reading next. Kanishka. Kanishka, I have unmuted you, beta. Start reading next.
Yes, ma'am. Eighth,
Yes, 8.
assets which have physical appearance are known as intangible assets.
Yes, very good. Next, fast. Be a little bit fast. 9th.
Assets which are converted into cash within a period of 1 year are called current assets.
Yes, very good. Next.
Bank overdraft is a current
Liability.
liabilities.
Yes, bank overdraft is a current liability. Very good. Next.
Dash dash discount is never recorded in the books of account. Trade discount.
Yes, very good. Next.
Money received from sale of fixed asset is a.
Which receipt?
मैम ये वाला पता नहीं.
Money received. Yes, others can give me answer in chat. Money received by selling of assets. By selling of assets. Yes, Namish Jalan. I have unmuted you.
Capital assets.
Yes, capital receipt. Start reading, Namish. Next question. Fast.
Cost of installing of plant and machinery is a
Dash expenditure.
capital expenditure.
Yes, yesterday I told you whenever we are buying any asset, so whatever the amount we are spending on that asset to make it usable, then that expense is also known as capital expenditure. Okay, 14th.
When debtors are given discount to induce them to make prompt payment is called cash discount.
Yes, very good. 15th.
That
Yes, 15th.
okay.
Fast. Dash
One
expenditure.
minute.
Okay.
Longer period.
Yes. Yes,
Capital
everyone is
expenditure.
correct.
हाँ,
No.
capital expenditure.
Yes. What is the answer?
Buy करेंगे ना?
Yes,
Capital
capital expenditure. It's not deferred revenue expenditure. It's capital expenditure. Next MCQ I'm going to show. Okay. Now you have to select the correct answer. Two answers are here. Read fast, Namish.
A person who owns money to a firm is called a creditor.
Who owes money to firm? No. Who owes money means who has to give money to the firm. So how it can be creditor? He is a debtor. Harshita, I have unmuted
Sorry,
you.
ma'am.
Harshita Bansal,
Yes, ma'am.
start
Yes,
reading.
ma'am.
Fast reading.
Purchases refer to purchases of goods.
Goods. Yes, very good. Third.
A debtor is a person from whom money is to be received.
Yes, very good. Next.
Stock is a part of current asset.
Yes, very good. Next.
Goodwill is an intangible asset.
Yes.
Purchase of machinery for a manufacturer is a
Which
revenue expenditure.
No.
Capital.
Yes, it's capital expenditure. Next.
Excess of revenue over total expenses. Excess of revenue over total expenses.
Yes.
Profit.
Yes, very good. Next.
Payment of salary to employee is a revenue
Yes,
expenditure.
because every month we have to pay that salary. Next.
A liability to pay arises from a liability to pay arises. Ma'am, ये वाला नहीं आता.
Yes, Pulkit. Continue with the answer. A liability to pay arises from which transaction?
Credit transaction.
Yes, very good. Next. Start reading next. Fast.
Heavy advertisement incurred for launching a new product in the market is deferred revenue expenditure.
Yes. Heavy expenditure is a deferred revenue expenditure. Next. Fast.
Capital invested in the business by proprietor is an internal liability.
Yes, very good. Next.
Excess of revenue over expense is income.
Very good. Next.
A bill of exchange accepted by the buyer of good is a bill of exchange accepted by a buyer. Bill payable.
Yes, very good. Last.
Reduction in the list price of goods at a fixed rate is called trade discount.
Yes, very good, students. Yes, I think chapter is clear. Tomorrow there will be one more class of the doubt class and assignment.